I think, the Canal Run is important to this community for so many reasons. It helps to make people more active, right? They have that goal in participating in the Canal Run. A lot of times, the Canal Run is the first and sometimes the only chipped timing or sanctioned event that a racer will do, and then there's fear and just some uncomfortableness with that, but then when those individuals cross the finish line, they have the biggest smile on their face. So helping to create more movement in our community is really important. And then it's just that sense of community too. One of my favorite parts of Canal Run Day is standing on top of the steps of Quincy Green and just looking over at the lawn and seeing it's just families from young to old. It is friends. It's like a big, huge reunion of the Copper Country, and you can't help but be happy and just feel all of that positive energy on Canal Run Day.
I think it means a lot to the area because it does draw in a lot of people. At this year's race, when they go through the results, you'll have people from California, Florida, Texas, all over.
It's a great event for the community because it's so well known. People come from many distances in order to participate. Once they learn about it, and of course people who maybe used to live here and moved away, but they have a reason to come back if we have the Canal Run. And so it's a community event that brings people into the community and brings people together. So it's been great.
I did have a guy one time say to me when I was living down in Lower Michigan, he says, Mitch, why are you going up there to run this 10-mile race that you don't have a chance to win? Why don't you just go out and run 10 miles behind your house? Well, there's more to it than that. I didn't expect to win, but the camaraderie and getting an accurately timed race and enjoying the scenery and everything else, it's worth it.
There's a lot of local people that participate in it. However, it does draw people from all around the UP as well as from places away. It's a good reason for people who grew up here, like you and I, right, to come home and be part of the Canal Run.
Yeah, the early years of the Canal Run, in fact, I brought along one of my T-shirts. It's tattered and torn and frayed. I've got hundreds of T-shirts, but this is, I don't know, can you read this year, 1977? Mm-hmm. It used to be a little brighter yellow.
Over the years, we have changed up the Canal Run. Historically, it was the 10-mile run, the Bob Olson 10-mile run. So we renamed the signature event after Bob Olson, the founder of the Canal Run. But we've also tried to add events to bring in more people, but then to also make the Canal Run open to all abilities, all levels.
Back in the early days, it was a considerably different event because it was run by a very small amount of people. And the distance was constant. It was just a 10-mile run from the entryway at McLean State Park to the finish in front of WMPL and D&N Bank. And the event has evolved over the years. It started out with the Olson family, Bob Olson and his family, a 10-mile run. Then there came a time when the craze nationwide was to go metric. So it went to 20 kilometers for a while, 12.4 miles. And now, as you know, there are many different distances, plus walking events, wheelchair, and everything. So it's really evolved over the years, but it's been interesting because now it seems like the half marathon, that is the craze. Everybody wants to do that, the half marathon.
If you just want to dip your toe into it and participate, the 5-mile walk or the 5-mile run is an easy way to get started. And of course, the more serious runners want to go longer than that. But we have the half marathon now, which is even better. So yeah, there's so many things to choose from that. So if you just want to participate a little bit, you can start right at the bottom where I'm ending up.
I always view it as a celebration of being an athlete. I mean, with Dean Jutman in the wheelchair, walkers, runners, speed walkers.
I really hope to convey that the Canal Run really is for everyone. You have multiple distances to choose from: 2 mile, 5, 10, and half marathon. And then there's the Kids Dash too. There's the competitive side of it. But I would remind people that there's a small fraction of the hundreds and hundreds of participants that come out and participate that are on the competitive side. Most people are doing this event to finish it and just to enjoy the day and have a good time. So trying to reduce those barriers, that intimidation of the Canal Run really is for everyone, every ability to take part. And it's a great thing to be a part of.
It's absolutely fantastic course. Going along 203 with the canal to the side is fantastic. And it's a celebration of success. Even on a bicycle, when you get to Hancock Beach and you make that big left-hand turn going up towards Hancock, it's all uphill until you get to Northern Otto. That's a mental challenge, and it's a celebration to beat that.
But as far as the Canal Run goes, I always described it as flat and fast. Some people say, "Oh, what about that hill at the end?" Well, if you're a runner, that's kind of negligible if you ask me. I consider it a very flat course and fast, and the scenery makes it go by even better. There's no monotony involved.
To the participants, thank you for participating. I would be really curious to find out how many participants have run or walked in every single event. I know Ken has, but I don't know, I honestly don't know if there are others. There might be. To the prospective participants, if you have not come up and run this course, either the 10 mile, the half marathon, or the other shorter events, come up and try it. It's a little bit of a drive from Green Bay or the Twin Cities or Duluth, Marquette, but come up and try it. You're not going to find a nicer, more scenic route. You just aren't.
I would say if you haven't been training, you better get going. But even if you're not in great shape, you can walk, you can run at a slow pace. But it's just, you have to be part of it though, because then you could say you did it, during the anniversary celebration. And I don't know how many people, some people say, "Oh, don't you just feel terrible at the end of the race?" No, actually, no. At the end is probably one of the best feelings. So do it just for your own mental health and physical health too as well.
And what they've done now, at the request of some people, they have donut holes at the finish, so something different than just apples and oranges and that sort of thing. So it's improved.